the 3 pieces of hair that's all over the news. We found a reciprocal saw with 3 pieces of hair, and we can do nuclear DNA testing that somehow this reciprocal saw has 3 pieces of hair from his wife. Now, I pulled up the file from court, and I found out the document actually says they cannot do DNA nuclear tests based on those 3 pieces of hair. Why is it all over the news they're saying that they can do a DNA nuclear test when the document actually says they cannot do a nuclear DNA test?
If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
All right, so today Naresh Bhatt had a bond hearing. So we go into court, and we're expecting Naresh Bhatt to have a bond hearing. It's all over the news. It's on Inside Nova. And Inside Nova is asking the community to show up, and they're telling the community to wear red in support of his wife. The county, the prosecutors say that he murdered his wife. That's what the prosecutors are telling us. Now, we show up to court, and we find out that the bond hearing has been canceled. That's odd. That doesn't make any sense. It's all over the news. They're telling people to wear red, and you show up to court and you find it canceled. So we leave court, and I'm trying to find out why they canceled the bond hearing. So Inside Nova puts out an article, and the article reads that they reached out to his lawyer. His lawyer wasn't saying anything. They reached out to the prosecution office. The prosecution office is not saying anything. But Inside Nova is telling us that they didn't have an interpreter, and that's why the bond hearing is canceled. But where did you get that from if the prosecution office is not giving you a reason? That doesn't make any sense. There's always an interpreter. So there must be another reason, because that's not making any sense. That you cancel a bond hearing that you're telling the whole entire community to show up to, but all of a sudden you tell us there is no interpreter. But the prosecution office is not telling you there is no interpreter. You're saying it all on your own. So there must be another reason. So I'm thinking, why would they cancel the Naresh Bhatt bond hearing? Oh, maybe because I'm on the phone yesterday telling Mustafa, that's in solitary confinement, hey Mustafa, I'm gonna start covering the Naresh Bhatt case on my podcast. I'm gonna show up to his bond hearing, and I'm gonna find out, why are they holding Naresh Bhatt? What are the details that's coming out of this case? I have a lot of questions. I mean, I'm telling Mustafa this on the phone. And I'm telling Mustafa I'm going to show up to the bond hearing. I'm going to start covering the Naresh Bhatt case. Next thing you know, they canceled the bond hearing. I mean, I wonder why. Is it possible maybe because every media outlet seems to just simply repeat what the prosecutor is telling us? I mean, last time I checked, the media's job is to question what the government is telling us. In this case, they're not questioning anything. They're simply just regurgitating what the prosecutor is telling you. I mean, when you really look at the Naresh Bhatt case and put it under a microscope, you find out there's no body. They never found the body of his wife, so there's no body in this case. The government is not identifying a murder weapon, so there is no murder weapon. And there's no evidence, no real evidence, that Naresh Bhatt murdered his wife. So the question is, what are you holding Naresh Bhatt in jail for? He's been in jail for just about 3 years now. And our question is, the question that no one seems to be asking, why is Naresh in jail? Everything that you said so far is a lie. I mean, when you really look at the Naresh Bhatt case and put it under a microscope, you find out there's no body. They never found the body of his wife, so there's no body in this case. The government is not identifying a murder weapon, so there is no murder weapon. And there's no evidence, no real evidence, that Naresh Bhatt murdered his wife. So the question is, what are you holding Naresh Bhatt in jail for? He's been in jail for just about 3 years now. And our question is, the question that no one seems to be asking, why is Naresh in jail? Everything that you said so far is a lie. You talked about trash bag, that he's dumping trash bags and you want to say that he dismembered his wife's body and he was dumping it in the trash bag. That turned out to be not real. That's not true. He was donating clothes or throwing clothes in a trash bag that you sent out a forensic unit, and you looked at the trash bag that he was dumping and you found out that it was closed. It wasn't his wife's body. But why would the prosecutor lie to the judge and get his bond denied? Oh, she denied it based on probable cause, based on a lie that she told the judge at the time when his bond was denied. So, the whole thing with the trash bag is a lie. That's closed, that he was throwing away, donating. You sent out a forensic unit and you investigated and found out that it was closed. The 3 pieces of hair that's all over the news, we found a reciprocal saw with 3 pieces of hair, and we can do nuclear DNA testing that somehow this reciprocal saw has 3 pieces of hair from his wife. Now, I pulled up the file from court and I found out the document actually says they cannot do DNA nuclear tests based on those 3 pieces of hair. Why is it all over the news they're saying that they can do a DNA nuclear test when the document actually says they cannot do a nuclear DNA test? Literally, I'm going to post a document. That's what the document says. Am I misreading the document? I'm going to post a document and we can all look at that same document. The news says one thing, the document says completely opposite.
If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
Now, I took human anatomy back when I was in medical school. Do you know how hard it is to cut through a cadaver? You want to tell me that Naresh Bhatt used a reciprocal saw and dismembered his wife? Why not identify? You haven't identified the murder weapon. Are you telling us that that's the murder weapon? Where's the body cam when the officer found the reciprocal saw? How do I know that an officer didn't just pick up 3 pieces of hair from Naresh Bhatt's wife's hairbrush and put it on the saw? How do I know that? How do I trust that officer not to really have done that? I need that body cam. The community needs a body cam when the officer saw the reciprocal saw. Are you telling us that's what he used to dismember the body? Wait a minute. Why didn't you find blood? You say you found blood, but you only found drops of blood. Not a lot of blood, drops of blood. So wait. So he chopped up a whole entire body, and you say that he chopped up the body inside the house, but yet you only found traces of blood. How do you know his wife wasn't on her period? How do you know she didn't have a nosebleed? Here's a better question. Where is the blood splatter analysis inside the house? Oh, you didn't find blood splatter all over the house. You only found drops of blood, some blood. Not enough blood for a body to be chopped up inside of a house. And you can't convince me that a reciprocal saw is he's gonna be able to use a reciprocal saw to chop up a whole entire body. It's not that easy to chop up a body. Here's a better question for you. When Naresh Bhatt's wife left work, the hospital that she worked at that night before she disappeared, someone picked her up. Who picked her up? Did you get the license plate? Can you share with us the license plate? Can you tell us who picked her up? How do you know she didn't have a boyfriend that picked her up? How do you know she didn't have a group of friends that she's involved with that picked her up, that possibly have murdered her? Possibly that she left with? Tell us who picked up Naresh Bhatt after she left work. Why is nobody asking that question? I've got a better question for you. She was on the phone when she left work. Who was she on the phone with? Better yet, her phone signal bounced off which tower in which area? You, as the police department, you can find that out. When she used her cell phone, her signal bounced off which tower, and you can tell me, you can tell this community, who was she on the phone with? Oh, but you're not going to share all that information with us, because you want to... Is that my order?
Yes.
Thank you for coming out.
Yeah, of course. You have the
I'm
two
doing
Kardashians?
I do.
Perfect.
I'm doing a video on the Naresh Bhatt case.
Oh.
It's all over the news.
I've never seen it.
The guy from Nepal that they're accusing, they're saying that he murdered his wife.
Oh.
It's all over the news.
That sounds interesting. Yeah, I've never seen it.
By the way, this is my cards. I have a podcast on YouTube.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
The county is doing a lot of interesting things where they hide behind sealed cases.
Mm-hmm.
They seal off a case. They seal off a case so they can do whatever they want, put out whatever narrative they want, and prosecute a case however they see fit. They don't care about the evidence. So, I have a podcast. I talk about these cases on the news. Follow my YouTube.
Yes, yeah.
And let me know what you think.
I will.
Okay?
I will.